As we were talking about strangers, it reminded me of something that happened 2 weeks ago when we were flying. And the stewardess, she's probably like 80. I just love her. I mean, really, she's the kindest, sweetest, cutest person. But more than that, she felt familiar to me, which is so strange and random. And she approached me, and I was wearing a spiritually hungry hat. And she's like, "Oh, I love your hat. I love it. Where did you get it from? How can I get it? Can I take a picture?" She was telling me about her upbringing, that she was raised by a pastor who really believed in giving back. She has 8 siblings, and they were all raised in this way. And he was also a doctor. And anyway, she's like, really, I told her what we do, and she's so aligned with that. And she's like, "Please send me information." And then the entire flight, it was like a 3-hour flight. Every time she walked by my seat, she'd rub my arm or my shoulder or my head, but like with the most, like I felt it. I had all the feelies, like it was familiar, right? I felt very nurtured, and I also was aware it was very strange, and that continued. And then when I left, she's like, "Please send me the information. Don't forget." She gave me your email address. On the return flight, what do you know? Judith is there again. And she brings me into the cockpit, and she's like, "This is who I was telling you about." She's introducing me to the pilots. And again, throughout the flight.
But no, but to remind you, when we boarded, so this was when we went to the Spiritually Hungry retreat in Mexico, right? So, right, so this story you just told was on the way there. On the way back, we're getting on the plane, and another stewardess turns to us and says, "Somebody just showed me a picture of your hat."
Right. And I said, "Really? Is it Judith?" She's like, "Yeah." And then she popped out. So, and then when I got off the plane, she gave me the biggest hug, the longest hug. Like my soul definitely recognized her. And I love that we live in this way, because we don't take any of that for granted. And also the things that are challenging, the people that we meet that are, that it wouldn't make sense any other way. We have such an understanding. And I do feel that there's growth and expansion any which way.